Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of City Skylines, Dakota Falls. In today's episode, I'm completing the city of Rock Springs with a few final detailed commercial area builds on Aspen and Elk Avenue, featuring some new storefront signs from Joppy. But first, I'm going to be completing this winding botanical gardens, which will organically follow this steep elevation difference in downtown. I'll be heavily detailing this park, including a greenhouse area for the tropical plants. And of course, everything's fully functional, and I'll be showing you how I built it in this episode. So stick around, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of City Skylines, Dakota Falls. Starting off today's episode, I'm deciding to build this botanical gardens here. I had this awkward space here in the middle of downtown with a pretty dramatic elevation difference. So I figured this would be a decent place for a park that would be overlooking the city and downtown. I wanted to try something new here as well and build something that I haven't really built in detail before. So I figured a botanical garden was perfect and would finally give me a chance to use all those nice foliage assets that I never really get a chance to use otherwise. For the general layout of this area, I knew that I really wanted this park to be fluid and follow the topography. So I took a little bit of inspiration from the botanical gardens in Wellington, New Zealand, and a little bit more inspiration from Balboa Park in San Diego and their Japanese gardens for the really steep terrain that I'm working with here in the winding paths. I give a couple options for people to walk through the park and from how to get to the top to the bottom, with a shorter route and a more scenic route. On the far side of the botanical gardens, I wanted to try to challenge myself by bringing in this miniature, detailed forest area with a working waterfall to help display some of the nature that you'd see out in the mountains and help bring that in a miniature form right into the downtown. So that's what I'm kind of working on right now, and I'm using some of the foliage that I would normally use way out in the mountains of this build, and just trying to build a functional waterfall as well that's small enough to fit into this area and curve around this park while also being built in a somewhat believable way, but also in a way that seems artificial enough that it's convincing to be a park exhibit. With the outdoor section of the park built, I wanted to build something custom up top for the indoor portion of the gardens. I'm taking this asset here and customizing it using procedural objects to create a sort of curved welcome center and indoor greenhouse up here with these really large windows that follow this curving road and overlook the outdoor section of the park and downtown. I imagine you get some pretty nice views from the inside of this building as you explore the indoor gardens. Flatiron Gardens completed, let's head over to Aspen Avenue to build this detailed strode lined with commercial properties, restaurants, and other familiar businesses. In this part of the episode, I wanted to share a little trick that I learned recently to allow for building easy ramps on commercial roads, so that cars don't have to go over the steep curbs to get into businesses. So in intersection marking tool, I'm just creating a small ramp here just over the curb using these asphalt ramps from the North American Station platform assets. As you can see, with these settings in intersection marking tool, these make for some pretty convincing entrance and exit ramps for businesses. They're super easy to create, and because they're made in IMT, they don't count towards your prop count, and you can also slope them automatically. As I mentioned in the intro of the episode, we have a lot of new custom 3D sign assets courtesy of Joppy the Bear, and I'm going to be coming back and customizing some of these commercial areas using some of them now. In a few moments, I'm also going to be sharing some cinematics from around the city featuring these awesome new signs. A huge thank you to asset creator Joppy the Bear for creating these 3D signs and helping to bring these brands to life in city skylines. This park area in the corner that I'm starting to build here is one that I plan to come back and revisit later in the series. I'm adding a small construction scene for now as I'm not quite ready to build this really detailed build yet. But eventually I do want to come back and completely redevelop this riverfront area between Rock Springs and the campus with this really large and detailed park with some nice and varied bike trails. But more to come on that later. For now, I'm just wanting to build out this detailed brew pub next door to this future park entrance. And it's going to have some nice outdoor dining and a detailed scene featuring a vendor from the local brewery in town. Once again, I want to give a big thank you to everyone who watched until the end of the video. Watching until the end of the video is the #1 thing you can do to help support me as a YouTube creator, so thank you. And also a big thank you to all of my supporters on Patreon. Without your support, I wouldn't be able to sit down and create cities like I do in my spare time, so thank you for your support. And also a big shout out to the entire Dakota Falls team. Thank you for everything you've contributed and for helping me make this amazing project. So with all that said, thank you, and I really hope you enjoyed today's episode of City Skylines, Dakota Falls.